the sealed bearings, they're sealed, and you can't really repack them unless you take the seal cover off. And I just like the old school way better. You can actually deal with it. Okay, so here we go. Put the fresh axle grease in there. You don't need tons, just enough to hold the bearings. This is a loose pack bike, so we're going to loose pack it. And you need enough to hold the loose pack in there while you're dealing with life. Okay. Yeah, we're looking pretty good here. And as we found out earlier, this was loose. And you can't be having that. We gotta have stuff ready to go. It's gotta be tight. We can always tighten it later, but let's tighten it now, so we don't forget. Okay, that's good. And see, that's the small side that goes in. All right, we're gonna put these in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Good. Let's go get a little hammer. Now you notice with loose pack, there's about 1 bearing difference. And when these all touch, there's about 1 bearing there, space. And you got to have that. You got to have that space. All right, we'll take this dust cap, pound it on there. Okay. And here's the axle. Okay, so now we're going to put this axle through, short side, because this is the threaded freewheel side. You put the short side through, and a bunch of grease is going to push out. And wipe that off, because that grease was inside the hub where you didn't really clean because you don't have a parts washer, if you're like me. So wipe that contaminated grease off. There you go. And here's our other cone, which we cleaned and inspected. Oh, we got to put the bearings in. Remember to put the bearings in. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna make them all happy. And here's number 9. He's going in, and we'll put our cap on because we can. What's going on there? Wow, did they use a different size cap? I'll be damned. That's a new one. Well, it's a different size. I thought the caps were the same. Well, we'll fix that. Good thing that grease is keeping everything where it's supposed to be. Yep, slightly different size. Kind of stubborn. Be careful not to smash the thread, you know, that the free wheel goes on. Okay, get that through. Alright, and we'll wipe that semi-contaminated grease off and search for the cone. Here's the cone. Hey, we're doing pretty good. There's another issue. Okay, so you're putting this cone on and it's catching some grease from the threads, and you didn't put this in a parts cleaner, so that grease there, that grease it's catching on, forcing into the hub, is also slightly contaminated. So try to clean that a little bit. Yeah, I know it's a lot. There, we got some of that yucky stuff off. Oh yeah, it's feeling much better. All right, so let's put our washer on. And our pinch bolt, which is like 16 millimeter instead of some kind of strange size. Yeah, I think it's a 16. Oh well, we'll figure it out. Okay, so now we're ready to, we pinched this side already. Before we even put the axle in, we made sure that was tight. Now we're gonna pinch this side. And it's just a kind of a feel thing. You go in until it's tight, and then you back it off a little. Then you hold the cone. This is where a cone wrench, a nice thin one, comes in. And then you would take your 16 millimeter. So, but the axle moved a little bit, so let's check this out. It feels pretty good. I think we're gonna go for it. Need something thinner now. Take your 16 millimeter. See how I'm holding the cone and trying to see if this axle spins also. There's actually a tool that holds the axle. It's a little double threaded, like half threaded, two pieces of metal that you put in the vise and you can hold that. But for our purposes, this is not a race bike. Okay, that feels great. All right, let's put the spacer on. Let's clean the spacer a little. Now the spacer just does spacing things, but I actually like to crunch it down also. Just as an added thing. They always seem to loosen up anyway, but just as an added security, hold that pinch bolt and crunch the spacer down a little bit. Okay. Are we actually going to put this crappy freewheel back on? Why not, right? Here's the spoke protector. We could like omit that if we wanted to, but you know what? We'll put it back on just because this is a video showing you how to put it back together also. Put that back on. Put a little dab of grease on these threads that hold the freewheel. You'll be really happy later when you go to change your freewheel, your cassette, or whatever, your threaded cassette. You'll be happy that that grease is there later. You'll thank me. Okay, and that goes on clockwise. Okay. And here's the bolt. All right. So what have we learned? We've learned to clean the parts and inspect the races and cones very carefully. And there we have it. A slightly